Good evening, everyone. Welcome to First Church of Religious Science. Welcome to our Louise Hay self-healing class. It's a joy to have you all with us tonight. I see many of you signing in as I speak. So welcome again to First Church. This is our self-healing class. Many of you will be watching on Facebook, Insta, X, YouTube, and all of our social platforms, Spotify. So welcome to one and all. We come to you 3 times a week, Sunday mornings at 10:45, Wednesday evenings. James facilitates our creative living series, and then this Thursday class, the Louise Hay class. So I'm glad you're all here. I'm giving you a moment to get settled and uh, before we begin our lesson tonight. Our lesson is on owning our healing. Uh, our gatherings, by the way, are offered freely. So tell your friends, there's no charge. If any of you feel moved to support the work that First Church does, there's always options in the chat room for people to contribute and or support. Your support in any form, your goodwill, or it's financial or whatever it is important to us. It keeps our mission alive. We're here to help people. So let's shift our focus to tonight's theme, which is, again, owning our healing, owning our own healing. In a world where just lately everything seems way beyond our control, whether it's the latest news of the hurricanes that have devastated so many lives, or the rising cost of living, or the heartbreak of uncertainty in the global conflicts, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and at times powerless. So with so much happening, it's understandable to feel a sense of concern and even, fear for our world. And that's one of the reasons we come here, to get recharged and renewed. This evening's message is a reminder that while we acknowledge these very real things that are happening, true healing will always start by going within. As Louise taught in her book, You Can Heal Your Life, the point of power is always in the present moment. So we want to learn to be still and know who we are, that we're one with the one. We're one with the great power, the one power. We are one with the one energy. So again, as Louise would say, the point of power is always here, it's always now, it's always with you. Even amid uncertainty and difficulty, we have been through some of those times, this truth remains the same. We have the ability right here, right now, to reclaim our power, to center ourselves in that awareness. This means at this very moment, we can decide to step into the healing process by recognizing our inner world. The thoughts we think, the thoughts we cultivate will shape our outer world. So always learn to take that pause when things are when you're having a tough experience. Take the pause, slow it down enough to know that you're one with the one. There's lots of affirmations you can use because we understand our inner world. The thoughts and emotions we have within us will cultivate and shape our outer reality. We can't control the storms, or we can't personally end the wars ourselves, but we can choose how we respond to anything and everything. And that choice is a powerful thing. So this evening, we're going to explore how to actively own our healing journey. We're going to tap into the strength that we have, the strength that already exists within, the strength that's always been there, only waiting for you to discover it and begin to use it consciously. So let's begin with that powerful truth, a powerful truth rather. Healing's a choice. It's not a destination. So we want to start to consciously use the power we have. Healing is not a place you arrive at, or it's not like it's some destination that's out there. Instead, it happens by daily practice. Take a pause, connect with Source. Daily, take the time to connect, because healing's a moment-by-moment commitment to choose your thinking. Every thought you think is creating your future, said Louise. So it's a commitment to choose your thinking. It's a commitment to look at your behavior, your attitudes, that will support your growth and your evolution. We have an amazing power, and we have an amazing responsibility, because healing is always within our own hands. Even in the face of the world's struggles, we each have the power to engage actively in our own healing day by day, thought by thought. As spiritual, and it's never too late to start our day over. If we've had one of those days, we can say, stop, and be here now and start again. As spiritual beings, we're continually learning and growing. We'll make lots of mistakes along the way, and that doesn't matter, because we're here, we're evolving, we're growing. We're not here to judge anyone. We have compassion for other people in the same way we're developing compassion for ourselves. This journey is about unfolding, and it's about expanding. Remember, as I've said in so many lessons, misery is optional. As Ernest Holmes said, in a very similar way, suffering is not God ordained. It's not a requirement for life. We acknowledge the pain, and we acknowledge the challenges that people are going through, or that we are going through. And we also affirm that we can rise above them. When times get tough, it's easy to fall into the habit of reacting and letting the circumstances overwhelm us. We can let the circumstances dictate our mood, our state of mind. But what we're wanting to do with this lesson is to remind ourselves that we can truly own our healing. And to do that is to make a powerful choice. And you make that choice every single day. That's the people who stay the course. See, we practice, practitioners practice, and ours is a practice. We keep looking to see the good, or the good, the God. Our focus is to keep reframing everything, that every negative thought, when it comes in, we learn how to transmute these situations by changing our thinking. And then we will, in fact, change our life. So it's about deciding, no matter what's happening around you, no matter what, that you will commit to having the mindset, to taking the actions, and nurturing the beliefs that will support your well-being. So when you get off track, you just bring yourself back, gently and lovingly. Bring yourself back. Willingness is the key. I remember from a 12-step program, willingness is the key that opens the door. And that's true. When you slow down and take a pause, you allow yourself to be informed by Spirit, you start again, just have that open heart and willingness. It will open the door, and every day you can choose to step through it. You can realize, I'm one with this one power. I have the power. I'm connected with it. I'm a part of it. In a lesson not long ago, I spoke about Viktor Frankl. Some of you may remember. In case you missed the lesson, he was a psychiatrist, and he also was a Holocaust survivor. So you can imagine what he went through. In his book, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl writes about the suffering, the endless suffering that he saw and that he endured in the concentration camps. He saw firsthand how some people, even in the worst imaginable situations, found a way to find purpose, and they maintained their inner freedom. If you can imagine being in such a terrible situation. He noticed that there were people in the midst of all that who were able to keep their poise and their purpose and have positivity. Frankl's revelation was that everything can be taken away from people but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. And he said that was to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. So they can't take that away from you. I remember reading about him and his whole experience many years ago, and I was really moved by it. When it was hell and awful all around him, he saw that there were people who still had that sparkle in their eye, who had joy in their expression, who still maintained this positive expectancy, which we always talk about here. People who practice this teaching are learning to develop what I call that positive expectancy. They're able to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. So we have the ability always to choose. If Viktor Frankl could find meaning and healing in the midst of those circumstances, then we too can. We know that we can choose how we respond to anything that's going on. We could always say, as one of my old lines here, I could see peace instead of whatever is going on, because you have the power. And once you learn to see life that way, because we have a metaphysical approach, we understand that we live in this divine activity, we move in it, we have our very being in it, we understand that it responds to us. So we can always choose to see ourselves as being supplied and supported. We can choose to know that we are that. We're supplied and supported. I was told many years ago that religious scientists or people in this type of teaching are the cheerleaders of life, because we're not going to let ourselves be dragged down. That's the easy way, to feel sorry for yourself. We're inclined to see the good in situations, and we know that we live in this divine energy, we move in it, and that we are supported by it. So healing is going to start with a choice to focus on our growth rather than despair, a choice to believe in the possibility of peace and goodness, even when circumstances look very, very grim or tough. So we want to take full responsibility for our life and our experiences. And when we do this, it means we're not blaming ourselves, or we're not blaming others when things go wrong. We become empowered by recognizing that we have the power to change our responses to the situations that occur in life. We have the ability to shift our mindset from, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me or for me? We can shift that to, what can I learn from this? What can I learn, and how can I grow? There must be something in this for me. There was an old joke, years ago going around, there must be a pony in this. In other words, there must be something good in this when something seems to be happening that is otherwise very unpleasant or awful. That's a religious scientist. That's a New Thought student. They will know absolutely nothing happens in the universe by mistake. So there's always a lesson. There's always something to learn. Ernest Holmes, who was, of course, the author of the textbook, inspired Louise Hay, and he once said, "We are born to be free. We are inherently free. We're born to be free. And this freedom is not simply a given." He said, "It is an ideal that we're always working toward, both individually and collectively." And that's something that's important to remember. Even in this country, it's established in the ideas of freedom, and yet it's an ideal. It's not yet perfect. And for all of us, it's not simply a given, it's an ideal, and we're always working toward it, individually and collectively. At a spiritual level, freedom is our ability to choose how we think, how we speak. It's our freedom to choose how we act, regardless of the things that are going on around us. I can affirm Spirit is here. I can affirm Spirit is here now. It's here now in this moment. And that's a practice. I used to, in my younger years, I would be saying, this is God in my life. That's God in my life. Wherever I was, it was like a mantra. And we can do that today. You can affirm Spirit is here. It's here now. It's in every situation that you can think of. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now. I'm not going to get into all of them at the moment. But the thing is, as you think of any of these situations that maybe aren't to your thinking good or the way you'd like them to be, and certainly there's a lot of things that are going on, you can say, Spirit is here. I affirm Spirit is here now. And that's a practice. Or saying all is well. That's a practice in shifting yourself out of the worry thoughts to knowing I am supplied and supported, or knowing they are supplied and supported. And as you do this, here's the thing, it just happens to be true. Spirit is here now. It's in me, operating through me. It's in you. It's operating through you. It's in places of devastation. It's everywhere present. So it happens to be true. Our American founders spoke of these are our principles. We want to pursue life, liberty, or it's pursuing life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are the guiding principles. And they were recognizing, while these ideals may not be fully realized, they represent something that all of us aspire to: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. True freedom is not a static place. It's not a static achievement, but it's an ongoing process of growth. All of us, each of us, are evoluting along. We're evolving. We're going forward. The world is moving forward as well. So we do it personally, we do it collectively. We're all continually striving to express our highest and best, and we attempt to break free of the things that hold us back. We want to break free of the old beliefs. We want to break free of the old stories. So we spend a lot of time in this particular gathering on Thursdays talking about affectionately we call it our BS, our belief system, the ideas that we've been nurturing, throughout our lives that don't work for us. So we're in the business of trading those in for the greater. I'll say we're trading in the lesser stories for the greater. We have acquired a lot of things along the way, and a lot of it's been wonderful. It serves us well, and quite a bit of it, really, it would be good for us to let go of. Our teaching, the science of mind teaches us that we are in what is called the express business. We're here to express life and express it abundantly. Dr. Holmes said the universe is a field of limitless potential, and our thoughts, our words, our actions are the means by which we express that potential. The real essence of freedom lies in our capacity to choose, and we're always at choice. It's always up to us. So the essence of freedom is that we do have the ability to be like Frankl, Viktor Frankl, and see the good. I could choose to see peace. I could choose to see the good. It's our freedom to choose which beliefs we will adopt, which thoughts we will entertain, and which actions we will take. So it's about as we do this, we're shaping our lives. We're the authors of our experience. As we do this, we're not passively sitting by, accepting the circumstances handed to us. So let's together reflect for a moment. Ask ourselves the question, where in my life can I begin to work towards a greater sense of personal or inner freedom? Where in my life can I begin to work toward a greater sense of personal freedom? When you're working toward freedom, it isn't something you achieve all in one day. It's an ongoing process. It's a little bit like learning to ride a bike. You'll coast, you'll bump, you may crash a few times, but eventually, with each attempt, you get steadier, you get stronger. So what I'm trying to say is we take consistent steps, and it's always a practice. I'm going to give you a couple examples. Instead of saying, for example, I'm always late, it's just who I am to be late, I would suggest you try reframing those statements to something like, I'm getting better at managing my time, one step at a time, one day at a time. So never, never, never criticize yourself. If you have this negative thing going on where you tell yourself, I'm always late, or I always do that, stop it and tell yourself something positive. Reframe it into just the opposite. Or if you're quick to think, I can't do this, it's too difficult, remind yourself, I'm learning and I'm growing through every single challenge. So wherever you have a negative, I want you to think about developing a counter statement. I want you to cancel the negatives and replace them with positives. I would like you to, as much as you can, reframe those statements, because we want that inner dialogue to be shifting. Any shift, these small shifts in the way we talk to ourselves might seem insignificant, but they build momentum. They're very powerful. It's like stacking a bunch of rocks or pebbles. It doesn't seem like much at first, but eventually you've got a whole hill or mountain of rocks. So let's ask ourselves today, what little step could I make today to align with this idea of freedom? Could be as simple as setting aside 5 minutes to meditate, or taking some timeouts, taking a pause to remember how powerful you are and that you are one with this unlimited energy, that you are an individualization of this one life. So that's a little step. What little step comes to your mind? What could you do? Maybe it's a walk in the garden. Maybe it's some time in nature. So whatever you might do, Maybe it's just being kinder for yourself, taking some time out to pamper yourself a little bit. Another question is, how can I contribute to my healing by embracing my right to express who I am? Uh, Maybe you need to tap into some of your creativity, writing a poem or do some journal writing or sharing a vulnerable story or just allowing yourself to feel without judgment. Our journey towards personal freedom is a shared path also, because in fact, we're all in this together. Um, we're individualizations of spirit. We are connected with everyone. So we're all learning, we're all stumbling, and we're getting back up together. While the ideal may not be fully realized as of yet, every single step we make brings us closer to it. Every moment we choose to express our authentic selves is a moment we step into our power. It's our birthright to reveal the magnificent truth within and to live a little more boldly and to continuously strive toward freedom, the freedom that calls us forward. It's important to remember that healing happens always here, now. It's never in the past and it's not in the future. Louise reminded us the point of power is always in the present moment. And she would say, when you're dwelling on the past or worrying about what's to come, you're losing your energy, you're losing your power. The present moment is where everything is happening. It's where we have the opportunity to shift our mentality, our consciousness. We get to choose actions, new actions that will create a different reality. So let's take a page from her and from Ram Dass, who wrote that wonderful book with that line, "Be here now." The point of power is here. Be here now. This isn't just about being physically present, but being mentally focused, emotionally. It's to emotionally ground us in the here and now. When you find your mind drifting to the past or the future, lovingly and gently bring it back to the present. Notice as you breathe, the breath moving in and out of your body. Notice your feet and how it feels on the ground. And in these moments, there's no past, there's no future to fear, there's only now. This is where your healing begins. Imagine, if you will, you're standing on a path in the woods. It's quiet, the air is fresh. As you look ahead, you see the path stretching out into the distance. Now it's bending out of sight. You don't know what lies beyond the bend, but you don't need to. All you need to do is to take the next step. The next step, trusting that each step you take brings you closer to healing. Just as in life, you don't need to see the entire journey ahead. We just focus on the step right in front of us. So I have a question for you. As you think right now, where are you right now? Take a moment to reflect on that question, where you are. Where are you right now, and what has it been like being you this week? I'm sure many of you have had some tough moments this week. I've had some myself. But the question is, have you been kind to yourself? The next question, have you allowed yourself to pause and simply be? Have you been kind to yourself? Have you allowed yourself to pause and reflect? I ask this because healing doesn't always mean doing something. Sometimes it means allowing yourself to rest, to reflect, to revitalize, to renew. So in this moment, consider what it would feel like to simply let go of the need to control. What if you could let go of the need to control everything and instead trust in the flow of life? Just let it go. What would that feel like? So let us affirm together. I am present in this moment. I embrace the here and now. Yes, I am present in this moment. I embrace the here and now. I own my healing journey. I am present here and now. When we think about healing, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, as though we have to make all these dramatic changes at once. And I know people who are new sometimes think that, but just we take it one day at a time, we take it one step at a time, listening to our body, our mind, and spirit, what collectively our body, mind, and spirit is saying to us. Have you ever noticed how your body sometimes speaks louder to you than your words? When you push yourself, and we do push ourselves despite feeling exhausted, we might notice that our body responds to us with a headache or an upset stomach, as if to say, hey, I've had enough, I need a break. What if instead of ignoring all these signals, because we get them from spirit, we get them from our body, what if we decided to tune in and be more attuned? The next time you feel tension in your shoulders or a sense of burnout, pause and ask yourself, what is it that I really need right now? And you'll be surprised if you take those moments of pause, that you will get answers. Maybe you need a rest. Maybe you need a walk in nature. Maybe you just need some moments of quiet. The key here is to honor those needs without judging yourself. Rumi said, listen to the silence. It has so much to say. So take those pauses throughout the day. Listen to the silence. It has so much to say. You will get what you need from spirit, I promise you. Sometimes the most profound healing comes not from doing more, but from simply being still and letting the answers to emerge naturally. Now, this doesn't mean isolating yourself or meditating for hours. It can be as simple as taking a quiet moment, as I've mentioned a couple of times this evening, to check in with yourself. You can do it in the morning, you can do it in the evening, you could do it a few times during the day. There's a saying, when you're in your life and you're pointing fingers at everybody, there's three fingers, being pointed right back to you. So we're not a teaching that's big on blame. We're not blaming ourselves, and we're not blaming other people. We recognize that we have more power over circumstances than what we think. When we take ownership of our reactions, we reclaim our power. Think about a recent time when you felt frustrated about somebody else's decisions or actions. Maybe it was a coworker, might have been a partner, someone who didn't follow through, or a family member who made a thoughtless comment. It's easy to focus on other people's behavior. But what's important is notice how you respond when things come to mind, or as things are coming to mind right now. Did you allow their actions to disturb your peace, or could there have been a different response that would have kept you grounded? So, in other words, have there been times where you got upset by the things other people have said or done? Did you allow their actions to disturb you, your peace? Is there something else you uh, might have done that would have kept you more grounded? And as we go into this area, as you think about something like that, did you allow their actions to control your mood? And could you have responded in a way that would have preserved your peace? So those are some questions. I always go back to that idea. I could see peace instead of this, because I want you to understand the power is with you to make those choices. As Ernest Holmes said, there's power for good in the universe, and you can use it, right? So by focusing on what we can change within ourselves, we become active participants in our own healing. Now I want to have us try something a little fun together. If you're comfortable, I'd like everybody to go ahead and turn on your camera. I'm going to give everybody a moment to engage in this little fun exercise. I'm giving you a moment to turn on your cameras. You don't have to do this if you don't want to, but I'd like you to. It'll be humorous. So we're going to do what's called a silly shake together. And in this exercise, you can wave to us, you can wave to one another. And remember, it's totally fine if you want to watch and enjoy the show. There's no pressure here. So when I'm going to give you a count of 3, and then you can wave to one another. You can do whatever you want to do. Okay? It's called the silly shake. And you can watch each other. So this is a little humor. Cameras on. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now shake your hands, wave, wiggle your arms, whatever it does make you feel fun. The sillier, the better. Imagine now shaking off the stress. Wave or shake it off, let it go. Now, no matter whether you're shaking, waving, or just smiling here along, it's a light-hearted moment for us that we can share as a community. We're all here to enjoy ourselves, and a little laughter along the way can go a long way. Shake away. Yeah, hello. That's great. So, namaste to everybody. So that's wonderful. I've included that little segment this evening to remind us that healing doesn't have to be a solitary journey. In fact, it never is. We're all in this together. That's why we come together as a community, whether in person or virtually. When we share our stories, our struggles, and our victories, we remind each other that we're not alone. Louise often said, "We're all a family, and the planet is our home." Our shared space magnifies healing energy. If you feel isolated, remember that support is always available. Reach out to someone, a friend, our group, or a professional if needed. Sometimes the most healing step is simply saying, I need some help. I need to talk. So let me have it do an affirmative prayer. Let's close with a powerful affirmation. I recognize the infinite power of healing, love, and peace that flows through all of life. I know that I'm one with this presence, this power, and it expresses itself through me. I affirm that I own my healing journey, trusting that I'm guided to the highest good. I give thanks for the healing that's unfolding in my life right now in ways that are seen and unseen. With gratitude, I release this prayer into the universe, knowing it's fulfilled in perfect ways, and so it is. So as we bring this session to a close and we're ready to turn the cameras over to you, let's take a moment to reflect. What spoke to your heart tonight? How will you take ownership of your healing in the days ahead? So let's turn it over to you. This is your moment to share, whether it's a thought, an experience, or a greeting. We want to hear from you. See you in a moment.